Often you will read that the best way to create a new habit is to repeat that action for 30 days. If you can do that, then eventually you will have ingrained the behavior deeply enough that you won't be able to stop. Is this true? 30 days would theoretically be long enough for you to rehearse an action long enough for it to become ingrained at least somewhat, but that magic number is actually very much arbitrary. There is no reason that doing something for 30 days should be any better than doing something for 29 days or 31 days. What this idea does have going for it is anecdotal evidence. According to research, this indeed seems to be accurate, and if you can stick to a new behavior for that long, you'll at least be on the right track. This makes it a little easier setting out too. If you know that you have to exercise first thing in the morning for 30 days only, then that can be easier to stomach than thinking you have to do it permanently. And here, I'm going to tell one more thing to you. Micro habits. Struggling to floss your teeth every day, even just for those 30 days. Then in that case, you might want to try using something called micro habits. The idea of a micro habit is essentially to hack the 30-day trial by finding a way to stick to your habit for that long much easier and then extrapolating the results. To explain, a micro habit means breaking down your new intended habit into something that is extremely easy and simple to stick to. So, for example, your goal might now be to floss just one tooth and to floss a different tooth each night. This is a 2-second job, so there should be no difficulty in sticking to it. But as with a full-sized habit, you should find that this micro habit becomes deeply ingrained after a while, and that eventually you find it easy to stick to. Now all you have to do is to extend that habit so that you're flossing all your teeth. A more realistic version of this might be if you wanted to write a novel, in which case you could aim to write just one line per night. Likewise, if you wanted to get into shape, then you could aim to do just 20 press-ups every day. This works best if what you're doing is still useful in its own right. If you only ever did 20 press-ups, then you would still notice some improvement, for example. Likewise, one sentence per night would still eventually lead to an entire book. Try to avoid a scenario where you might look at your micro habit and feel that it is pointless, so you can just ignore it. The great thing about micro habits is that right from the start, you are going to find you sometimes end up doing more. For instance, if you have set the goal of doing 20 press-ups, you'll often find that you end up doing a whole workout anyway. The hardest part is just getting started. What's most important though is that you have the option to default to the micro habit. The important thing is that you are keeping this as a part of your routine, not so much that the habit itself. And finally, the video end up with one thought. A mini habit is a very small positive behavior that you force yourself to do every day. Small steps work every time, and habits are built by consistency, so the two are meant to be together.